Welcome to The Array, sponsored by Jacquard, the podcast that's on a mission to demystify AI for marketing leaders. This week, we've been thinking about a concern brand leaders often bring up when AI and marketing get together, namely the need to protect a brand from potential AI risks. So we're asking, can I trust generative AI to speak my brand language? Thankfully, we were joined by a guest who was more than qualified to help us tackle the question. Pattisall is a VP and Principal Analyst at Forrester and our special guest today.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
We're hoping you might be able to help us answer that question of, can I trust generative AI to speak my brand language? And I suppose to keep it easy for our listeners, is the answer yes or no?
Increasingly, the answer is starting to become yes. There are issues with the technology that are still being worked out and it's smoothed out. And as time wears on, generative AI technology and automation will be better tested and time tested and proven. The reason I would say that increasingly we're coming to a place where trust can be put in these models to help execute marketing and automate portions of marketing workflow is because brands and ad tech companies are increasingly building mechanisms with which to constrain and restrain or train the brand and an understanding of the brand and its audiences into the models and into the systems that execute. And so as the models become more knowledgeable, if you will, about the audiences that they are intended to reach, about the brands in which they are intended to scale, then the relevance increases. And as the relevance increases and the mishaps or misrepresentations decrease, then trust builds. And I think it's a more along the matter of months, I think, than years before we get to a place where brands are going to be increasingly comfortable relying on technology as in the production process of marketing campaigns and experiences.
Do you think there's kind of a crawl, walk, run approach to this in terms of how we can build that trust towards autonomy?
I think the division of the marketing mix is a good way to look at this. It's not necessarily crawl, walk, run. I think it is run, sprint, fly. At this stage, we're moving very, very quickly.
Is this a world where there's going to be such big winners and losers that without leveraging this kind of technology, then you're kind of being left behind?
Marketing, has always, to a degree, had the expectation of doing more with less, and as long as that expectation is there, and that expectation that marketing must be relevant to its audiences, then a technology like this, I think, has a permanent place in the tool chest of marketers and brands. It provides speed of execution and it provides scale, and mathematically that makes a great deal of sense, because if you can increase your speed, your productivity, and your scale, you can increase your performance. And performance is something that that is demanded of marketers, and this becomes an important part of the creative process and the creative development process and the creative production process to produce the types of marketing that moves consumers emotionally, that moves consumers functionally, and moves them to purchase transactionally. And so I think this is a new norm.